One is training webinar and the corporate webinar. This is our training webinar. And today in this webinar, we are going to discuss about the healing properties, health, and the wellness benefits of drinking alkaline water. In fact, this is one of the most asked subject from many people, different types of waters available. And we all talking about the water, alkaline water, even we have the flask. So is the water same? A lot of questions are coming up. So this is one of the main topic we have, we wanted to deliver to the people what exactly is alkaline water and what are the health benefits and things like that. So in future, any one of you have any suggestions on topic, please, we are welcome and we will work on that. And healing properties of water, that is going to be today's topic. And in this one, we will be talking about water in general, the healing properties, alkaline water benefits, and at the same time, we'll be talking about our water Actify. And in this session, whoever has any question, please try to key in at the chat box. So I'll be trying to address those questions at the end of the webinar. So let me start. This water in the human body. We all know that water is something water is life itself. Water is something very important. Without water, we cannot live. It seems something like the breathe, without breathe, nobody can live even, for more than 2 minutes or something. But without water, I don't think anybody can live more than 3 days. Without food, at least we can survive even 25 to 30 days. So water is something very important. And everybody used to say, even, in all our presentations, you can find that the water is holding the major portion in our body, like almost 60 to 65, they were telling, but now the science is telling almost 80% of our body is nothing but water. If you look at the brain, 83% of our brain is composed of water, and our kidney is almost the same, 83%. Our lungs is 85%, our eyes is 95%, and our heart is 75%, and our muscles is 75%, and blood is 94%. So imagine our body, we have more than 80% is already water. It's like you can just compare our body is like an aquarium, where we have almost 80% of our body is consisting of water. Okay. And at the same time, all the organs we have in our body is like fish. And just imagine we have an aquarium and we have 80% of the water in that. And all our organs are like fish in the aquarium. At the same time, we are feeding the fish all the time. That means we are having our food and doing all the time. And suppose we don't change the water from the aquarium, you know that the fish, at least every week or something, we have to keep changing our water. But if we keep on just give the food and whatever to the fish, at the same time, you don't change the water, what exactly will happen? Just imagine. This is what exactly going on in our body if we don't put more water again into our body on time or in time. So all the fishes, of course, they'll be, excreting all the, then the water will get totally poisonous, and there's a chance that the fish all might die very soon. Similarly, this is the same thing happening in our body. Our body is consisting of 80% water, and the whole organ itself is composed of water. And if we don't change the water, if we don't keep on adding the water to the existing water and dilute it, otherwise what will happen? The organs will start decaying. The organs will start dying. This is just an example I'm giving you. Now, When we talk about the healing properties of water, the first thing, as I told you, water is life itself. But when we go in detail, we can find water is a catalyst, a helping tool. Whatever the problems we have, you can find the majority of our health issues is nothing but the dehydration. Recently, I happened to watch one video from a very famous doctor. She was talking about the water and the brain. How does water affect the brain if we don't take water properly, and if our brain goes dehydrated, what are the outcomes? Even just imagine, she was telling that 2% of shortage of water in our brain can even cause coma. So that much important is water for our life. And water is a carrier because water is carrying almost different types of minerals to our body, like calcium or magnesium and all these. So water is basically a carrier, and it carries oxygen also to our blood and things like that. And water is a good solvent. If we don't, of course, water is like in the liquid form, and it really helps our kidney, it helps our liver in many ways for the detoxification purpose. Then water is a nutrient in the sense, since we are having good water, a spring water or alkaline water, which carries a good amount of minerals or the antioxidant properties, you can find water serves as a nutrient, and water is a good medium as well. And water is a facilitator. Even you can find anybody who is having any issue, you can find the first thing they try to give the drip, Basically, drip they are giving just to hydrate the body, because majority of our problems is from the dehydration of different organs in our body. So water is basically a facilitator, and it's a good detoxifier, because the moment we stop drinking water, the detoxification process which is happening from our the whole system, even our lymphatic system, or even from our liver and kidney, the water is taking a huge role fire. And water is a protector. Protector in the sense, just imagine if somebody is really starving to death, but still, if we just give him some water to drink, he can still survive. Water is really a protector, and water is a scavenger. Whatever the dead cells we have, whatever the what do you call the unwanted things we have, water is really scavenging those things, and water is keeping our body, our skin, our beauty, everything in a supple form. Just imagine, if somebody is not taking enough amount of water, you can really see on the face those compared to those people who are taking good amount of good water. The face, the skin will be supple and all these. Now here we are talking about water as a detoxification agent. We all know that the liver is one of our major organs, which has got 500 of function, which is one of the largest organ in our body. And the main detoxification is happening from our liver. Of course, there are one and two phases where the whatever the toxins which is coming to our body, how the liver processes, and after that, how the in the second phase, whatever the toxins are still left, without being detoxed, without being thrown out, again, then the second phase, those process, the liver is the main thing which is going to throw out all the waste from our body, and water is one of the main agent which helps the liver to throw out the waste. And when we talk about the healing property of the water, there's one gentleman, without his name, it will be incomplete, because he is the person who has done extensive research. There's nobody else who has done this much research on water, and that is Dr. Masaru Emoto. I myself personally had met him in 2009 in one of our conventions in Malaysia. This gentleman is a IHM institute which is founded by him, Dr. Masaru Emoto. He had written many books on water, especially the water crystal healing, the secret of life, and the miracle of water. Like that, many books he has written. And here, many of our quantum physicists and alternative healing therapy people, they always, when they talk about the water, this name is quite popular because gentleman who came out and said that water has certain property which we all don't understand. Like water can store the memories, and water can even react to your emotions. Water can even react to the vibrations, the resonance and all. So he has done very extensive research on that. So we also invited him for our programs, and even he has the lab, and we had sent our ambassador for the test and all these, and we have got all the result from there also. So he has really done a lot of research by using even water. Healing properties of water. This is the microscopic image of an energized water molecule from Masaru Emoto. So this Dr. Masaru Emoto, what he has done, he takes the water and he crystallizes it, freeze and crystallize it, and he takes the picture and show. So the water structure, the crystal structure is totally different, from water to water because he has tried this with many waters from many different parts of the world. Not only that, he could find a difference in that, but also when he has taken samples of water and tried with the different kinds of vibrations on that, then he could see that the crystalline structure which is formed and which is shown is so beautiful. It was showing in a different styles. For example, you can see when he had taken the water and he started telling thank you water, or I love you water, I love you, like this. So whenever the vibration or the resonance came and the water has a property to react, so that is how automatically the structure of the crystalline structure is totally changing. At the same time, he has tried with the same water, he took and he used some abusive words, I hate you, or whatever it is, the abusive words. Then the crystalline structure was showing so weird and so bad and so ugly. From this itself, we can make out how the water responds to the or reacts to the vibration and the frequency and even the emotions. So imagine this is the same water what we have in our body. As I said, almost 70 to 80 percentage of our body is consisting of water, and every now and then our mind is not always in a thoughtless state, in a meditative state. Always we are always having bubbling with thoughts, and probably most of the thoughts are negative, of course. So what, just imagine what will happen to the water content in our body. Of course, that the negative resonance what ourselves we are creating in our body, that itself will have a coherent effect on water we have in our body. And this itself, of course, can, what do you call, lead to many sort of diseases and things like that. In the healing property of water, there's Dr. Freydon, and he's the author of the book, which is a very popular book. Most of the alkaline water people, they used to talk about a book that the many cries for water. He was talking about the proper cellular hydration to prevent or cure all the following diseases. And he mentions majority of our problems are just because of the water. It is starting from arthritis. You know that arthritis is one of the very common. You take even 10 people, you can find probably 4 to 6 people are having this issue nowadays. And the main culprit is, we can see that is nothing but water. So, right from the arthritis, asthma, back pain, cancer, constipation, depression, irritable bowel syndrome, headaches, high blood pressure, hypertension, heart problems, high cholesterol, indigestion, menstrual problems, morning sickness, obesity, and stress and urinary issues. So majority of whatever the problems we have find in common right now, one of the main culprit is nothing but water. the good water. Of course, water means there is good and bad also. You can find lots of people they're drinking safe drinking water, they call, in different parts of the world. Maybe it's a distilled water, maybe it's a bottled water, or a mineral water, or oxygenated water, or hydrogenated water, or whatnot. There are different types of water available in the marketplace now. So that's how he has found that in the water, I mean, the many cries for water, he has reiterated on to the fact that majority, even it can be 99% of our problems are just because of water. You can find, even in the video what I was talking to you about the brain and the water, she was telling even our headaches. Sometimes what happens when we have headache, immediately we try to just take a Panadol with a glass of water, and we feel that okay, immediately the headache has probably gone down. But major reason is not maybe because of the pills, because of the water you are taking along with the pill has helped you to hydrate your brain properly so that you got relief from the headache. Sometimes why the alkaline water plays a big role, because normal water, of course, normal water might take little time to hydrate the body because of maybe the structure, the clusters in the water may be a little higher, it may be a thicker water, hard water. But if it's alkaline water, of course, the body can absorb it much faster, and it can help replenishing the whole stuff in our body. Now, in the healing property of water, we know that the accumulation of acid bases in our body, which we call as acidosis, is the underlying cause of degenerative diseases such as cancer, high blood pressure, eczema, diabetes, kidney problem, gout, hypertension, etc. Now, you can find there are many, many symptoms you can see for the acidosis. Of course, acidosis is the main problem what majority of the people are suffering, and that is the basic problem. Even when we talk about the free radicals or talk about the cancerous cells, any degenerative diseases, acidosis is one of the major problem. Like there was one scientist, a very famous scientist who got 2 times Nobel Prize. His name is Dr. Otto Warburg. He was telling, even he got the Nobel Prize just for telling that acidosis of the body is the main problem for all kinds of cancers. That means in the alkaline atmosphere, the cancer cannot grow at all. And that is how, even that has been taken into account by many of the major doctors in the world, major scientists in the world who are working on the medicine, like Dr. Shinya, the founder of the colonotherapy. He always, all the patients, whoever comes with the colon issues, immediately he will start feeding them alkaline water. After 3 months, he could really notice that there's a huge improvement. The cancerous cell has stopped growing, and slowly it is getting back. So that's how even what do you call the acidosis, when we talk about acidosis, it's come. So, of course, our body has its own capacity, its own innate capacity to convert certain amount of acidicity to the alkalinity. But still, the amount of the food, the amount of whatever we eat, it is still acidic. For example, the meat. Meat is, of course, when it is outside, it is alkaline. But once it is cooked and when it goes to the body, it becomes acidic. Like that, most of the food what we eat is acidic, especially the sugar, sweet, whatever it is. So our body has a slight capacity to convert it to alkaline, but again, the amount of damage what we are giving to the body in the form of just filling the acidic food is so high, so that we need to do something to nullify at least that ill effects of the acidicity which is already been created in our body just by pouring a good amount of good alkaline water. Now, we talk about the balanced body pH. Nowadays, it's quite a fashion also. I have seen when I had visited in many countries, there are clinics. They give the aqua therapy and all these, and what they do, they just slightly make alkaline water warm, like 30 degrees centigrade, and they give to the people so that the body, the internal body pH is maintained properly. Because When we talk about the pH, which is potential hydrogen in our body, our internal pH, the neutral is, of course, it is 7, 7.265, whatever. So, majority of the people, the body pH is almost like 4 or 5, especially those people who are non-vegetarians. You can find 4 to 5 is the body pH normally. Those who don't eat much the vegetables or the salads and all these. So research shows that the drinking alkaline water hydrates your body better than plain water. And by raising the pH level of your body, it can prevent or eliminate the symptoms of metabolic syndrome, such as obesity, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high blood sugar, and even kidney stones. So this is one of the main benefits of taking alkaline water. So it basically helps for the hydration and balancing our body pH. Now, the second point is the detoxification. The detoxification, alkaline water from, especially from our alkaline machine, which is Amwater Alkaline, it provides the body with the daily cleanse of ion trapping. It really cleansing the whole thing, especially our colognes. There are like, pouches. So whatever the food is getting just clogged there, it becomes acidic in a very, very easy condition. And this already they have noticed, majority of the colon specialists they have found when there is a problem in your colon and at the same time your body pH is lower, like in the acidic level, then it is very easy for you. You are a very good candidate for a colon cancer because you already have the colon issue, you already have the trappings in your body, the acidic toxins in your body, and at the same time your body internal the body pH is wrong, then it is very easy that you can develop even the colon cancer and the similar kind of diseases. So increased levels of that's how they tell always, okay, you need to take antioxidant, you have to take cod liver oil, you have to take green tea, this, that. They will start giving you, they'll start prescribing lots of supplements and things for as an antioxidant just to nullify that ill effect of the oxidation or oxidative stress, whatever. So antioxidants, they always prescribe. This helps even for the liver cleansing and colon cleansing. But they forgot one thing. One of the best and the best antioxidant is nothing but the alkaline water itself. Because if you see even the ORP, when we talk about oxidation reduction potential, antioxidant ratio or the property in the alkaline water, or especially in our AM water, it is almost, you can say, like minus 400 and above. Imagine a green tea can give you only minus 50, where the AM water can give minus 400 or 500. Is as good as taking probably 8 glasses of green tea just by taking 1 glass of AM water alkaline. So that's how, so it works like as a detoxifier, and it works on our bone health. See, there is, you can find density of the bone is going very low. The density of the bone is going very low these days. And there are now special devices, special equipments I could find in many of the hospitals, especially in the Far East and the Middle East. The people are going just to check the bone status of the people. And honestly, the main culprit for this low bone density is nothing but the water itself. Because what really happens, it has become habit for the people, especially those people, they live in the town, they live in the metro cities. It is difficult to get the proper amount of the good natural water. They need to depend on so-called the bottled waters or the mineral waters or the criminal waters or whatever, which doesn't have enough amount of minerals in it. So what really happens, the water has a scavenging property, as I said. What it doesn't have, it will try to snatch from you. So water is supposed to carry a certain amount of magnesium, a certain amount of calcium and all this stuff. So when the water is completely distilled or completely RO, completely, they cleanse by using the whole process of film membrane and things like that. So what really happens is the water which we are getting is nothing. It doesn't have enough amount of the minerals which it is supposed to carry. Okay, so what really happens, the water needs calcium. So what will happen, the water you are drinking, if it doesn't have calcium, it will try to snatch the calcium from your body, which is bone. So this is how, that is the main reason you can find the main reason for any kind of bone disease is nothing but the water what we are if you change the water, there will be a huge improvement in our bone health. So drinking alkaline water, it eliminates the calcium deficiency in your bones directly. So the water doesn't take away your calcium from your bones. Now, the fourth point is weight loss. So hydration allows you to have better workout. So when you especially doing the exercise, it is always better just to keep on hydrating your body. So you're able to burn more calories. And recent studies show that the people who have started drinking alkaline water lost an average of 12 pounds in 2 months. And the only change they made was drinking alkaline water. This is true. Because what really happened, most of the people they become even obese just because they are not having enough amount of water. Because what happens, our kidney gives a command, or the pituitary gland gives a command to the kidney to restore the water. Because when the body doesn't get enough amount of water it ought to get, then automatically the body, the command will go from our pituitary gland, please hold the water or do the retention, water retention. And that's the reason majority of the people, the obesity and the edema, all these are due to the lack of taking proper amount of water in their body. Then comes the anti-aging and the anti-cancer with the high ORP. Now, you know that the alkaline water, what we are talking about is, of course, it is a antioxidant. So alkaline water triples the antioxidant strength of vitamin C. This is one added advantage of the alkaline water, especially AM water, that you can take, you can add the vitamin C and drink also. Because the moment the high pH water is having a vitamin C in it, it improves the potential of the water, the potentiality of the antioxidant feature. So it helps, especially in our, those people they are having the cancerous problem or whatever it is. So it helps to scavenge all these cancerous property, what we have in our body. And even it helps in our body, our cells and the DNA and the tissues and all these stuff to getting away from the harmful effects. Six, the heart health and the blood pressure. Alkaline water from Amwater Actify has been shown to reduce blood pressure and lower cholesterol levels in people with mineral deficiency. We know that majority of the people, even doctors and the physicists, they have found out that the major problem or any problem you take in our body, any disease you take in our body, it will be associated with some or the mineral deficiency. And majority of the people, especially in terms of fatigue and tiredness and things like that, you can always find the deficiency of the magnesium, deficiency of the calcium and all. So this is one of the main thing, because the water itself is carrying that good amount of minerals to our body, because minerals normally our body doesn't produce, only you need to supplement. And of course minerals you get from the food also, but there are certain amount of minerals which you are supposed to get from the water, that should be there. So water is really helping by that way to help reduce your blood pressure and your the health of the heart also. Now, how does it help the digestive health? You can find the researchers suggest that the alkaline water reduces the symptoms of colitis, ulcerative colitis, loose bowel syndrome, and constipation and all. You can imagine a person who is always complaining, I have this problem, I have especially the, constipation and this like that. You just ask him, okay, how much amount of water you are taking? I'm sure he will be telling he is not taking enough amount of water. So they know what is the reason, but still they are ignorant about it. Now, the overall energy level and the healing, when you talk about taking alkaline water, especially our AM water, the energizing feature what we have in this system, in the AM water actified system, it helps the water which is coming into the system and coming out of the system, it energizes 3 times. So what really happens? The minerals and the whatever the good properties a water has, that is already the potentiality is already been amplified by using our AFT technology. That is number one. And number two, even the speed, even the we call the energization, the megahertz, whatever the the quality of the water, that also improves when we use the alkaline water from the water machine. So it helps for the healing and the energy balancing. Now, we can talk little more about our Water Actify. Of course, it has got very much essential properties which most of the drinking water doesn't have these days. You can find lots of water in the market, especially the alkaline water or the ionized water. Of course, it has got some similar properties, but there are some features which you can find only with the Water Actify. Now, with the Water Actify, I need to mention there are majorly the 4 features we are talking about. And one of the features is antioxidation, which is ORP. ORP means oxidation reduction potential. Normally, you take any fluid for that matter and test the ORP feature. ORP in the sense, like if it is minus, that means antioxidant. If it is plus, that means oxidant. Oxidation means oxidizing, rusting. You can call it is oxidation, or the oxidative stress is happening in our body. So that is the reason we always take the antioxidant stuff in our body, so that it will remove all that oxidation from our body. So if you take that the meter, the ORP meter, and check out the water which is coming out from Water Actify, you can find the antioxidant ratio. It is much, much higher than any other water source. So one of the feature is the water is antioxidant, and number 2 is the microclustering. Microclustering is something which you can say the water when it is a molecule or a very thin molecules you can find, it's called microcluster. That means if just for example you take water and you try to put the tea bag in it, and if the water, take the cold water and put tea bag in it, if the tea bag is getting dissolved properly fast or not, you just check it out, you cannot find. You know why? Because the water molecules are little bigger, so it cannot absorb tea, the color and things like that. So that is the reason what we need to do, we just boil the water. So we normally make tea by boiling the water. So when you boil the water, it is easy, so that water can really absorb all the color and the flavor from whatever substance it carries, because the water molecules are becoming smaller when you are boiling it. Similarly, in the alkaline machine, and the water you take in one glass and the normal water in another glass, and you try to dissolve the tea bag, you can find the difference immediately, because already the water is microclustered water, whereby the clusters are so small so that it can easily absorb by the body. And it plays a very huge role, honestly, when we talk about the health. Normal water you take, it takes a certain amount of time to hydrate our body, especially to our brain. The normal water, it takes sometimes even 3 hours to go to our brain. And sometimes our brain is so dehydrated that it has to be hydrated at any which way, because as I told you, even the 2% of shortage of water in the brain can even cause coma. So that much important is the water's role in our brain, and whatever the water we are taking doesn't have that microclustering property. So that means the body cannot get the water immediately. It takes its own time to get metabolized, the digestion, all this, it takes its own time. But when the water is microclustered, it is so easy, it will be so fast, and the body can absorb it much faster. And you will not get, even after drinking 1 bottle of water, you will not get that bloated feeling also. That is the plus point of the microclustered water from Water Actify. So the next point is, this water, as I told you, one is alkaline, another is the antioxidant, and the third is microclustered water. Now, When we talk about the antioxidant property of the water, this in fact I have missed out. If you take the water in a scale of water, normally it's a 0 to 14. The neutral is of course 7, and our body pH is supposed to be like 7, at least the neutral. If it is slightly alkaline, much better. But if the pH level is going down, then the body is, of course, it's going acidic. Then the illness starts. You can find in that graph. So the body is going illness. It's a illness provoking thing. At the same time, when our body pH is going higher than like 8.5, there the body is alkaline. This is the atmosphere where the oxidation doesn't happen, the cancer cells cannot grow and all this. Okay, so this is another feature what we have. So we have alkalinization feature, we have ORP, that is called oxidation reduction potential, which is the antioxidant property of the water feature. Then the third feature I told you about the microclustering feature, and the last feature, which is the energization feature. Energization feature. In this one, you can find the water from the water alkaline is already energized, because in the system we have got certain gadgets inside whereby the water which is flowing out and flowing in also is getting energized, especially with the 0-point field. So what really happens, this water Actify has a unique energization feature which no other machine has. And water has a built-in compartment or a component where the alkaline water gets energized by amide diffusion technology. It really cleanses the old memories. You know, the water, as I told you, the water can store the memories. So the water, whatever it is there we are drinking, it is already having certain memories. Some may be bad, some may be good. It is not always in a pristine condition. So this water Actify, with our filtering process and the whole thing, automatically it brings back to that pristine condition and increases the life force potential. Now, if you see our body, as I told you, as per the Masaru Emoto, the ripple effect of what is happening in our body. So your body is used to a fluid that has no agenda, because the body depends on the freedom of the fluid or the water. There are two kinds of water in our body. There is already occupied and engaged water, which is no good for new function, because already the water is there. Only the thing we need to keep on changing the water. So that's the reason the body needs new water, the fresh water, and the antioxidant and energized water. So the ripple effect, because once the water is already having an effect, so when there is new energized water coming and replacing the old water, that the ripple effect, that energization, it goes to each and every cell in the form of resonance, in the form of energy, in the form of 0-point resonance. So it really charges and rejuvenates, and it brings our body's personal vibration to a higher vibration, which is like a wellness provoking vibration or the healing vibration. Now, there are so many tests we have done with our water Actify. Some water we had even sent to Dr. Emoto's lab, and there they could find, they crystallized and they took that image. You can see the right side image, water image from the lab. Just, it is not by using any resonance or whatever from, how he was showing normally, like I love you water and all, nothing like that. Just the water take out from the machine and we gave, and this is the result, how beautiful the structure looks like. And the left side you can find the image of the tap water, alkaline water, and the amide water. This AFT water also you can find the difference, how that the brightness, how image shows, it shows the water is really energized and bubbling with energy. There were some other tests also have done, especially from the biofield research group in many countries, with the GDV system and all. So they could find in the GDV that before consumption of the water, you can find the left image where there are a lot of issues, there are a lot of depletions and imbalance in the energy field, in the auric field. The middle picture you can find just 5 minutes after consumption of the water, how does all the depletions are cleared, and it is almost clear. But 3 weeks of drinking alkaline water, how much energy it is showing in our body. You can find in that GDV image. So Amwater Actify is something great and which has all the properties which some properties normally some other machines don't have. This is one of the best machines. We always can recommend people. There are some, of course, some offers are going. So any hot offers, you can contact our customer support for some hot deal or whatever it is. Amwater Actify is alkaline, energized, and at the same time, from this machine, you can get even acidic water also. Of course, acidic water has its own medicinal properties, especially for the beauty water, for astringent property. If you want to cleanse the diabetic foot or the bed sore or things like that, it helps for our skin and the hair and all these. So that is a bonus, what we call, the acidic water is a bonus. Anyhow, alkaline water is our today's main subject. So I don't want to go in detail about acidic water. Now, any questions, please, most welcome. Any questions on the topic today? I can see one question here. Okay, there's one question. Will the heating or freezing affect the water, the alkaline water? It's a very good question. It's a very good question because you can find the majority of the people, they keep the water in the freezer or they keep boil and whatever it is. You can, of course, when you want to cook food or when you want to make tea and all, it is okay. You can take maybe like 9 pH water and make the tea or whatever it is. But at the same time, I wanted to tell you the temperature of the water will affect the pH, of course, pH of the water. It will affect, but not that much. Probably like if you take like 8 pH water, you can find like at least it will go down to 7 or something like that, So it will affect, the heat will affect the pH of the water. And any other question? It's a good question again. What is the difference between the Amwater Actify and the Amflask? In fact, Amwater Actify, as I told you, it has got these 4 features, which is alkaline features and antioxidant and micro-clustered features where your body can absorb water much faster, and the energization feature whereby it can improve the energy level and it's like a catalyst working as a healing water. So at the same time, if you use Amflask, the difference is that Amflask, the water you can find in the whatever water you use, the drinking normal water you use, the mineral will be higher because there are certain portions in our system where it can give you much more minerals. Okay, at the same time, energized also. But when we talk about the pH value and the alkalinity factor, of course, I would recommend Amwater Actify. This can give you right amount of alkaline water. So I would prefer the Amwater Actify. But of course, if you are traveling or something like that and you cannot carry the machine all the time, so it's better even the alkaline water you can pour in this water flask and you can do that, take that. Any other question? I cannot find any other question. So thank you so much. I wanted to quote this one. Water is the driving force of all nature. Without water, we have seen, especially in many countries, the drought happens, and whatever the problem happens, the life expectancy goes down, and it affects the whole thing. It affects the whole nature. It affects the whole greenery. Water is the life. Water is everything. So Leonardo da Vinci says, water is the driving force of all nature. So water is everything. That's what I mean. And thank you so much for participating. Thank you so much for taking part in our today's webinar. Once again, thank you, and may the energy be with you. Thank you.